Sure. Okay.
So Surbhi, first of all, ideas, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And it would be better if you introduce yourself to all.
Yes. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Surbhi Goyal, and I have secured All India rank 78 in this year's UPSC CSE examination. And my optional was Anthropology. And I've been from engineering background. I'm BTech graduate, and this is my third attempt. In my previous two attempts, I was not able to clear prelims. So, this is like my first mains and first interview, and that's about myself.
Okay. So how did you define your UPSC journey? Like, what were the mistakes and takeaways?
Okay, so I would define my UPSC journey as a journey of perseverance and patience because I was not able to clear prelims in the initial two stages. So it's very difficult when you don't get the chance to write mains. So I'll say that my biggest learning is that we should be very confident if we are preparing diligently. अगर आप अच्छे से पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं then you should not be nervous at all because हमारे अंदर ये fear develop हो जाता है कि will we be able to do UPSC. So इससे निकलना और अपनी mental health का ख्याल रखना I think is very important and this will give you a lot of calmness and composure जो पेपर में आपको चाहिए होगा because a lot of things are new in paper, be it prelims, means or interview. So that calmness and composure is very important. I think that is the main thing that I've learned in my journey.
Looking into the uncertainty of this exam, according to you, is it necessary to have any plan B or one can entirely devote 4 to 5 years on this journey?
Sorry, you were asking about the uncertainty of the exam. After that, the voice was cracking.
Saying, is it necessary to have any plan B? Like one can entirely devote 4 to 5 years or more than that?
Yeah. So I'll say that it depends on the situation and the person. If you think that you are more secure in the mind, if you have a plan B, then you should go for plan B. If you feel that you want to be completely dedicated to a particular thing that you are trying right now, then you can avoid the plan B. So for me personally, मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि मैं अभी जो एक चीज कर रही हूँ मुझे वही करनी है. So I actually did not keep any plan B. I actually skipped a lot of them. But अगर आपको लगता है कि फाइनेंशियल सिक्योरिटी की इशू है या फिर आपको लगता है कि हमारे पास एक प्लान भी है तो हम ज्यादा अच्छे से मन लगा के पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं देन यू कैन डेफिनेटली गो फॉर इट सो इट्स अ वेरी पर्सनल चॉइस एंड आई विल नॉट से कि एक चॉइस बेटर है दूसरी से इट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू सो जस्ट एनालाइज व्हाट यू फील and how you want to go about the preparation and then you can go for whatever path you choose. Both are equally good.
Moving to the strategy part, like around 305 or 6 days are left for prelims 2020. So any particular timeline you want to suggest to the beginners?
Okay. So I'll say that timeline should be in such a way that you are able to complete most of the main syllabus or the entire main syllabus before prelims itself. So what you can do is, for example, right now the July is ending. So August to November, you can keep 4 months for your optional because optional is a prime thing. And simultaneously you should carry on with your newspapers. आप newspaper रोज पढ़ते रहिए अपनी current affairs की magazine को revise करते रहिए. After that, once you are done with optional, जब आप GA start करें तो आप साथ में उसके optional के टेस्ट थोड़े थोड़े लिख सकते हैं जो sectional टेस्ट होते हैं एटलीस्ट. एंड व्हाट यू कैन डू इज दैट जब आपका दिसंबर से लेकर जो आपका फरवरी से मार्च तक का टाइम है उसमें आप GS 1, 2, 3, 4 कवर कर सकते हैं. तो फॉर एग्जांपल आई से कि GS आप उसमें भी सबसे पहले पॉलिटी और इकोनॉमी जैसे सब्जेक्ट्स उठाइए बिकॉज उनसे आपको क्या होगा कि न्यूज़पेपर ज्यादा अच्छे से समझ में आएगा. एंड अदर थिंग इज दैट आफ्टर दैट यू कैन स्टार्ट विद GS 4 बिकॉज आप जितनी ज्यादा GS 4 की प्रैक्टिस करेंगे आपके आंसर्स उतने अच्छे आएंगे बिकॉज GS 4 में ज्यादा रैंडम क्वेश्चन आते हैं कंपेरेटिवली. एंड आफ्टर दैट व्हाट यू कैन डू इज कि जो लास्ट के 3 महीने बचते हैं हमारे प्रीलिम्स के उस समय आप प्रीलिम्स पे फोकस कर सकते हैं. हाउएवर आई वुड लाइक टू ऐड वन थिंग कि कुछ स्टूडेंट्स प्रेफर करते हैं कि वो हाफ डे ऑप्शनल पढ़ें और हाफ डे GS पढ़ें तो वो उस तरीके से अपनी स्ट्रेटेजी को मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं. पर्सनली आई प्रेफर्ड कि मुझे पहले ऑप्शनल करना है और फिर बाद में GS करना है. मीन्स आई प्रेफर्ड वन थिंग एट अ टाइम सो दैट इज व्हाई आई मेड अ प्लान इन सच अ मैनर. बट अगर आप प्रेफर करते हैं कि आपको GS और ऑप्शनल दोनों करने हैं so instead you can extend your optional to 6 months and simultaneously start with GS.
Okay. Actually, your optional was anthropology. So any comprehensive strategy you want to suggest?
Yeah. So for optional anthropology, I'll say that the basic thing is that you should start with the basic books. Optional जो anthropology का है वो बहुत ज़्यादा interesting और मेरे ख्याल से बहुत ही ज़्यादा knowledgeable है. So if you have chosen anthropology, you should not hesitate and you should not fear it. कुछ topics उसमें मुश्किल हैं, but once just start with the basic books. For example, for socio-cultural anthropology, you can refer to Ved sir's book and Ember and Ember. And for physical anthropology, there is Pinath. For archaeological anthropology, there is D.K. Bhattacharya sir's book. And for the paper 2, we have Nadeem Hasnain's 2 books and Khaka committee report. And other than that, I also refer to Muni Ratnam sir's notes. So I've also talked about these things in my L2A video where I've dealt with each unit in detail. If there's a student of anthropology here. And other than that, I'll say that the main thing is for anthropology, you should try to quote a lot of thinkers, a lot of case studies, a lot of definitions, examples. Okay, you should not hesitate in drawing diagrams, and you can draw diagrams on your own as well. Suppose there is a situation. For example, I will give you an example. In political anthropology, you will read an example in Ember and Ember where a tribe divides the food that they have got among the hunters' family, then the family of family, and the outsiders. So I drew, instead of writing this thing, which is something that a lot of people will do, I drew a diagram where I showed a person who is standing as like a hunter, and I drew a pie chart and divided it in 4 portions. So the pie chart section 1 is for hunters, section 2 is for hunters' family, 3 is for family of family, and 4 is for outsiders. So this is not like one example. This is to show you that you can imagine on your own how to show examples in a diagrammatic manner. Again, it will also save a lot of time of yours. This is general advice for anthropology.
So I'm opening the floor to all. Guys, you can unmute your mic one by one and ask for any question. Okay, so आप मतलब हाथ raise कर सकते हैं. You can raise your hand. We can take your name. Aditya. Guys, my voice is audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. तो किसी को कोई डाउट पूछना है, you can ask for any question.
Yes, sir.
Someone is asking in the comment section, ma'am, please let me know about current affairs strategy for 2023.
So for current affairs, I'll say that the main thing is that you should begin with reading newspapers daily. And I think that a lot of students have doubt that कि हाँ हम उसको substitute कर सकते हैं with different videos, analysis or summaries that are there today. So I'll say that please don't do that. In my opinion, it is very important to read newspapers because आप अगर daily newspaper पढ़ेंगे तो आपका एक base बन जाएगा. Because prelims में हर चीज नहीं होती ऐसी जो पढ़ी हुई आती है. But if you have this wide knowledge, तो आपके background knowledge से आप attempt कर पाओगे और questions को. And the same is for mains as well. So please don't avoid newspapers. You can read any one. I used to read the Hindu and read it diligently. Some days in the year you can skip, but try to read it at least 90% of the days. And then I used to supplement it with Vision monthly magazine. I did not read PT 365. I used to read monthly magazines. So I used to read it from the starting itself. For example, अभी जुलाई चल रहा है तो जून की आ चुकी होगी most probably. So I read the June magazine right now, and I'll try to revise it again in the future as well. Before the prelims 3 months comes. So वो monthly magazines अगर आप revise करते रहेंगे तो वो prelims में बहुत helpful रहेगा because वो magazines बहुत heavy होती हैं, so you cannot revise them in the last 3 months. So if you try to revise the monthly magazines from the beginning itself, तो आपकी उस टाइम ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी prelims से पहले कि magazines कैसे revise करें.
So someone is asking in the comment section how to approach the newspaper. Like Vasundhara is asking.
Okay. So for reading the newspaper, first thing is that आप शुरू कर रहे हैं तो you should try to read the UPSC syllabus at least for 2 weeks daily. उससे धीरे धीरे आपको समझ में आएगा कि UPSC के syllabus की क्या डिमांड है. Simultaneously, you should try to see the UPSC prelims questions also at least for 2-3 years. तो आपको धीरे धीरे समझ में आएगा कि अच्छा prelims में इस टाइप के questions पूछते हैं, मेंस का ये syllabus है. And at the same time, you should start reading the newspaper. सो इनिशियली आपको अगर ज्यादा टाइम लग रहा है, मुझे भी इनिशियली 4-5 आवर्स लगे, सो यू शुड नॉट वरी कि मुझे तो बहुत ज्यादा टाइम लग रहा है। इंस्टेड यू शुड ट्राई टू सी कि आप इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज पढ़ें, धीरे धीरे आपकी एक नॉलेज और हैबिट डेवलप होगी, तो आप उसको स्पीड अप कर पाएंगे। वॉट एवर सेज कि डोंट रीड पॉलिटिकल न्यूज, डोंट रीड एंटरटेनमेंट थिंग न्यूज। एंड उसके अलावा कुछ चीज होती है जो रिपीट होती रहती है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जब रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर का इशू आ रहा था अखबार में बहुत ज्यादा, सो एवरी डे देयर वाज अ न्यूज आर्टिकल ऑन इट कि आज रशिया के कारण इतने लोग डेड हो गए हैं एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ। सो यू डोंट नीड टू रीड इट एवरी डे। एंड सिमिलरली जब चाइना और इंडिया के बॉर्डर का इशू था, सो यू डोंट नीड टू रीड एवरी डे द सेम थिंग, यू नीड टू रीड द मेजर डेवलपमेंट्स वंस यू हैव रेड द मेन थिंग कि अच्छा क्या हुआ, एंड उसमें भी आपको कैसे पढ़ना चाहिए। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू आर रीडिंग अबाउट द चाइना इंडिया बॉर्डर इशू, सो यू शुड सी ऑन द मैप कौन सी जगह है एंड व्हाट आर देयर ऑर्डर। तो ये प्रीलिम्स से पूछा जा सकता है कि जो हमारा चुशुल मोल्डो है वो ऊपर है, या फिर दूसरी जगह यहाँ पे सपोज हॉट स्प्रिंग्स है वो एरिया ऊपर है। सो यू शुड ट्राई टू लोकेट देम ऑन द मैप। सपोज यूपीएससी बोले उन्हें इंक्रीजिंग डिक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में लगाना है, सो इन दिस वे यू शुड ट्राई टू रीड द मैप। सिमिलरली अगर कोई एनिमल के बारे में आया है, सो दैट इज अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर प्रीलिम्स। एंड फॉर एडिटोरियल्स आई विल से कि एडिटोरियल्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो व्हाट आई यूज्ड टू डू वाज कि इनिशियली समझ नहीं आता है कि कौन से पढ़ने चाहिए, सो आई यूज्ड टू सी द ओनली आईएएस एडिटोरियल वीडियो। सो मैं उसे पूरा नहीं सुनती थी, आई यूज्ड टू सी द इनिशियल पार्ट जहाँ पे वो बताते हैं कि कौन कौन से एडिटोरियल पढ़ने चाहिए। और पर्सनली आई प्रेफर कि हम खुद पढ़ें, बिकॉज हम खुद पढ़ते हैं तो हमें ज्यादा अच्छी नॉलेज मिलती है। सो यू कैन रेफर टू दैट चैनल, वो बताते हैं कौन कौन से एडिटोरियल्स पढ़ने हैं। धीरे धीरे आपको खुद से समझ आने लगेगा कि ओके दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एग्जाम, सो गिव इट टाइम। एंड आई विल से कि न्यूज़पेपर्स एक बहुत ही अच्छी इन्वेस्टमेंट है। सो इनिशियली अगर आपको ज्यादा टाइम लग भी रहा है, सो डोंट थिंक कि ये टाइम मेरा वेस्ट हो रहा है।
Okay.
There are
समझिए
a lot
आपका
of students trying to raise their hands. How to unmute them? I don't know. So are they going to
Hello,
unmute
ma'am.
themselves, or I don't know the method.
You can unmute and ask the question instead of writing in the comment section.
Okay.
Hi, ma'am.
You go down.
Hello.
Go ahead. गौतम आवाज आ रही है, पूछो क्वेश्चन।
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. Actually मेरा 3-4 क्वेश्चन था, स्मॉल क्वेश्चन। लाइक पहला क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपने मेंस और प्रीलिम्स का टेस्ट सीरीज कैसे इंटीग्रेट किया था और उसे कब से शुरू किया था, लाइक अपने प्रिपरेशन में। और सेकंड क्वेश्चन मैम, आपने जैसे प्रीलिम्स 365 तो आपने बोला कि आप अगर मंथली पढ़ रही थी तो वो आपने नहीं पढ़ा था, तो मेंस 365 हमने रेफर किया था या नहीं। और मैम थर्ड क्वेश्चन की शुभ्रा रंजन मैम का मैम आपने एक मेंशन किया था, तो उसको कैसे यूज करना है। और मैम फोर्थ की एडिटोरियल, जैसे ओनली आईएएस में वो लोग इंडियन एक्सप्रेस और हिंदू दोनों के बारे में देते हैं, तो आप दोनों का एडिटोरियल पढ़ती थी या सिर्फ एक?
So सबसे पहले आपने टेस्ट सीरीज के बारे में पूछा था। सो फॉर टेस्ट सीरीज मैंने प्रीलिम्स की, तो प्रीलिम्स से जो 3 महीने या 2 मंथ्स पहले शुरू करते हैं प्रीलिम्स की प्रिपरेशन, उस टाइम पे ही मैंने ज्वाइन करी थी। मैंने विजन की टेस्ट सीरीज ज्वाइन करी थी प्रीलिम्स की अपने सारे अटेम्प्ट्स में, बिकॉज आई थिंक कि उनका एग्जाम मुझे यूपीएससी पैटर्न से काफी सिमिलर लगता है। सो बट यू कैन ज्वाइन एनी व्हेरेवर इज प्रेफरेबल, और यू कैन इवन बाय देम फ्रॉम द मार्केट, वहाँ पे भी अवेलेबल है। सो आई यूज्ड टू डू देम बिफोर 3 months बिफोर प्रीलिम्स। एंड अगर आपको प्रीलिम्स से ज्यादा डर लगता है तो आई वुड सजेस्ट यू कैन स्टार्ट 4 months और 5 months बिफोर प्रीलिम्स एज वेल। बट अगर आप पहले शुरू करें तो देन कीप ट्राइंग टू स्टडी मेन साइमल्टेनियसली। आई वुड से कि अगर आप 3 months से शुरू करते हैं प्रीलिम्स स्पेसिफिक प्रिपरेशन, सो दैट इज गुड इनफ। एंड फॉर मेंस टेस्ट सीरीज ऐसे कि ऑप्शनल की मैंने अपने सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में लगाई थी, तो उस टाइम मैंने सेक्शनल टेस्ट दिए थे ऑप्शनल के एंथ्रोपोलॉजी के L2A में, तो अराउंड 10 टेस्ट वर देयर। आई डिड नॉट गिव द फुल लेंथ टेस्ट बिफोर प्रीलिम्स, आई गिव द फुल लेंथ ऑफ एंथ्रोपोलॉजी ओनली आफ्टर द प्रीलिम्स वाज रिजल्ट वाज डिक्लेयर्ड इन माय थर्ड अटेम्प्ट। एंड फॉर जीएस टेस्ट सीरीज आई विल से कि मैंने उसको शुरू किया था जो मेरा सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में प्रीलिम्स नहीं हुआ था, उसके बाद आई ज्वाइन द विजन सेक्शनल टेस्ट सीरीज, जिसमें सेक्शनल टेस्ट भी है और फुल लेंथ भी है। So I joined the sectional test series. I have also shared them on my Telegram group. So you will see that I have given a lot of sectional tests. For example, अगर मैंने polity पढ़ा तो मैंने polity का sectional test दिया, and then I studied IR, governance, social justice, और फिर मैंने उसका sectional test दिया. So I used to do that before prelims in my third attempt, and after the prelims result was declared, then I gave GS 1, 2, 3, 4. So after revising them. And your next question was about editorials कि वो पूछते हैं कि हिंदू के करने हैं या इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के। So during my preparation I only studied the Hindu, बट वंस इन अ वाइल मुझे कभी लगता था कि कोई टॉपिक इंडियन एक्सप्रेस का बहुत ही अच्छा है एंड आई हैव टाइम इन माई हैंड, लाइक लंच करते समय मैंने कोई एक वीडियो सुन ली, तो वो कर सकते हैं। बट आई वुड से कि इवन वन न्यूज़पेपर इज सफिशिएंट, बिकॉज घूम फिर के वो सारी चीज कवर हो जाती है। ड्यूरिंग माई इंटरव्यू टाइम आई यूज टू रीड बोथ ऑफ देम, सो इंटरव्यूज में आपको पढ़ने चाहिए दोनों। एंड अदर योर क्वेश्चन वाज कि व्हाट हैड यू आस्क्ड, सॉरी आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल, कैन यू प्लीज
मैम
आस्क?
शुभ्रा रंजन मैम बुक एंड मेंस 365।
Yeah. So Shubra Ranjan books को जो मैंने बताया है आपको, what you should do about them is that don't try to learn them entirely because वो बहुत heavy books हैं, and what you can do is just go through them 1 to 2 times. अगर आप 2 बार भी उन किताबों को पढ़ लेंगे, so you will develop a very good understanding, और उसमें से कुछ चीज आप highlight कर सकते हैं। For example, इस बार GS2 में NHRC पे क्वेश्चन आया था कि what is the contribution of NHRC. सो उस किताब में एक NHRC पे आंसर है, तो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे एग्जांपल्स दे रखे थे कि NHRC ने जैसे कभी फ्लड्स के विक्टिम्स हुए उनकी मदद करी, या कभी हमारे कम्युनल वायलेंस हुआ तो उनमें जो विक्टिम्स थे उनकी मदद करी। So you can use that in that manner, Shubranjan books. So you should try to read them topic wise. Suppose you're reading governance, तो आप गवर्नेंस का सेक्शन रीड कर सकते हैं साथ में, यू कैन मार्क लाइक डेफिनेशन आप उसमें से मार्क कर सकते हैं, और पॉइंट आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा या एग्जांपल अच्छा लगा, यू कैन मार्क दैट टू फॉर रिवाइजिंग। बट इंटायर बुक को आप रिवाइज नहीं कर सकते हैं। एंड ऑल्सो आई डिड नॉट रीड इट कवर टू कवर, कुछ चीजें हैं जो हमारे पेपर के लिए अब रेलिवेंट नहीं है, या कुछ चीजें आउटडेटेड हो गई हैं, या कुछ चीज यूपीएससी नहीं पूछता है, सो आई यूज टू स्किप दैट एज वेल। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आई रेड ऑल द क्वेश्चंस बिकॉज बहुत हैवी है, and even if you skip a lot of them, then also there are a lot of questions. So main thing you try to take from that is how to write analytical answers in GS2, because अगर आप एक analytical angle से balanced answers दे पाते हैं GS2 में, that is the main thing. So try to read some chapters of polity, some of governance, some of social justice, and some of IR. And the other thing you asked about mains 365. So for mains 365, I did not read it entirely for any subject, but what I did was when I was preparing notes for internal security, for IR, and for science and tech, so I referred to the previous year mains 365 क्योंकि ज्यादातर चीजें सेम रहती हैं and monthly से आपका लेटेस्ट कवर हो जाएगा. So because I had to prepare my notes before the prelims, so उस टाइम पे mains 365 नहीं आई होती है. So I refer to the international relations mains 365 and वो मैंने कवर कर ली वहां से. सपोज इंडिया के क्या रिलेशंस है मेन कंट्रीज से, एंड मंथली से आप अपडेट कर सकते हैं. एंड व्हाट यू कैन डू इज दैट जब हमारा प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के बीच का टाइम होता है, उस टाइम पे कुछ मंथ्स होते हैं जो हमें कवर करने होते हैं, क्योंकि प्रीलिम्स के टाइम हमारे न्यूज़पेपर छूट जाता है एक मंथ के लिए. तो वो जो मंथ आपका मंथ छूट गया है एक प्रीलिम्स के कारण, that you can cover from mains 65 if you want. Yeah, that's
Hello, ma'am. Good morning.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hi, I'm writing mains 2022 and I've seen your answer copies of Anthro 2019, but you wrote those answers in 2019. So how, I mean, to what extent did you improve in 2022, and how to memorize all the syllabus in one, like keeping all the syllabus in my mind before the actual examination? That is very tricky for me.
So I'll say that जो आपको लर्न करना है पूरा, so उसका तो यही solution है कि we have to keep on revising. So for example, what you can do is that suppose you are reading anthropology or even GS, you can keep 1 to 2 hours in the night for revision purpose. So that is what I used to do. तो जो रात में 1 to 2 hours होते थे, उसमें I used to revise what anthropology I have studied already. And same you can do even between the prelims and mains. So you should keep a cycle of you can make a schedule of suppose you have read 5.1 the previous week. So on Wednesday you have read it. So next week on 5.1 Wednesday night you can revise it. And you have read 5.2, you should just make a cycle of the things so that you keep in touch with them. So it's not like कि आप एक चीज पढ़ के उसको फिर 2 महीने बाद दोबारा दे. Try to keep in touch with all the chapters that you have read. And other thing you can you are asking that मैंने कितना update करा. So actually I've shared my notes. It also has the updated portions. I used to update a lot. You will see that a lot of white marks. So you should try to do is that you can update it as per the need. I'll not say that you have to update it a lot, but suppose कोई new current affair आए, सपोज देयर वाज अ डीएनए रेगुलेशन बिल जो फॉरेंसिक्स से रिलेटेड था, सपोज ऐसी कोई इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, सो दैट यू कैन मेंशन इन द कंक्लूजन पार्ट ऑफ यूनिट 12. Okay, so you should look out if there is a very important news or a very important case study. Or for example, the previous year questions is the main reference for updating. You can see the trend which is changing. So अगर आपको लगता है कि इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस जो है मैंने कवर नहीं करे हैं, so that you can for that you can refer to previous year question. मेरा मेन बेसिस भी यही था, जो 2019 में पेपर था एंथ्रोपोलॉजी का, इट वाज कंपैरेटिवली वेरी टफ, स्पेशली फॉर पेपर 1. सो उसको बेसिस रखते हुए मैंने अपने नोट्स को थोड़ा सा अपडेट और इम्प्रूव करने की कोशिश करी थी.
और चीज मैंने आपसे पूछनी थी, जो आपने आंसर लिखे थे आपने, ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपके हेलो एम आई ऑडिबल? या तो आपको ना जो आपने आंसर्स लिखे थे टेस्ट सीरीज से आपने आंसर्स लिखे हैं, उनको देख के ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपको ऑलरेडी वो आंसर्स पहले से ही पता थे. लाइक दे आर सो परफेक्ट, आई मीन दे सेम टू मी सो परफेक्ट कि आपको ऑलरेडी वो चीज पता थी. तो क्या एक्चुअल एग्जामिनेशन जो मेंस का होता है उसमें काफी वेरिएशन आती है या नहीं आती है? लाइक जैसे जो जिस टाइप के क्वेश्चन वो टेस्ट सीरीज में पूछते हैं उससे.
So I'll say कि जो L2A की एंथ्रोपोलॉजी की टेस्ट सीरीज है, I found it closest to the UPSC टेस्ट सीरीज. And if you're asking about कि मुझे आंसर्स क्या उतनी अच्छे से पता थे in the मेंस एग्जामिनेशन, so I'll say first thing is कि जब मैं घर पे लिखती थी तो वो सेक्शनल टेस्ट लिखते थे, तो सेक्शनल टेस्ट को रिवाइज करके देना इज कंपेरेटिवली इजियर एज कम्पेयर टू एंथ्रोपोलॉजी 1 and 2 साथ में रिवाइज करके देना. एंड अनदर थिंग इज कि मुझे एंथ्रोपोलॉजी से पहले कोविड हो गया था, GS 3-4 के टाइम पे. सो आई से कि आई वाज नॉट इवन एबल टू रिवाइज प्रॉपर्ली, बट जो मैंने रिवाइज करा था उसके बेसिस पे भी यू आर एबल टू राइट अ लॉट. So that is what I experienced because I was not able to revise a few things. So that is a little tip also, that please try to take care of your health. Like COVID was unavoidable, still a lot of things are avoidable. So try to do that. Another thing is कि पेपर में थोड़ा वेरिएशन तो आता है because जो लास्ट के 5 days होते हैं उसमें even if you are healthy then it is very difficult to revise the entire thing. And when you are writing at home sectional test then it is comparatively easier कि आप sectional test ज्यादा अच्छे से लिख पाएंगे. But when you're writing sectional test nicely, it matters a lot because जो आप उस टाइम अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे वो आपको आपकी मेमोरी में स्टोर हो जाएगा. And even if you're not able to revise it properly later on, still वो आपके बैकग्राउंड मेमोरी में रहेगा. So that is what helped me because मैंने sectional test अच्छे से दिए थे. That is why I was able to write mains nicely as well. So I'll say कि जो हमारी मेमोरी पावर होती है उसमें एटलीस्ट 10 to 20% का डिफरेंस रहता है. एंड अगर आप क्वेश्चंस की बात करें तो उसमें भी डिपेंड्स ऑन यूपीएससी. अगर यूपीएससी स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्मेट में एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में पूछेगा सो दे आर कंपैरेटिवली वेरी प्रेडिक्टेबल एंड L2A की टेस्ट सीरीज से वो काफी मैच करते हैं. बट इफ यूपीएससी ट्राइज टू आस्क ट्रिकी क्वेश्चंस और मेक द पेपर डिफिकल्ट देन ऑब्वियसली कितनी भी वेरिएशन आ सकती है. इवन देन आई विल से कि एंथ्रोपोलॉजी की जो L2A की टेस्ट सीरीज है उसमें कुछ क्वेश्चन ट्रिकी वाले भी यूपीएससी ने पूछे हुए हैं. सो टोटली डिपेंड्स, मतलब इट इज ऑन यूपीएससी कि वो कितनी सिमिलरिटी रख सकता है टेस्ट सीरीज से और कितना डिफरेंस जाना चाहते हैं.
जैसे लेट्स सपोज अगर कोई क्वेश्चन लेते हैं कि इम्पैक्ट ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन ऑन
let someone else ask also, no?
ओके फाइन.
हेलो मैम, मुझे एंथ्रोपोलॉजी नोट्स मेकिंग के डिस्कशन करना था कि हम डिफरेंट सोर्सेज यूज करते हैं एंथ्रोपोलॉजी के लिए, तो वो कैसे टैकल करें. मतलब हम जब मल्टीपल बुक्स रीड करते हैं तो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू फाइंड आउट द वन सोर्स तो व्हाइल मेकिंग नोट्स कंफ्यूज हो जाता है कि कौन से मटेरियल में से हमने.
जब आपका वॉइस ब्रेक कर रहा है मुझे.
So what else? Somebody's voice is coming. It's very disturbing. Yeah, it's okay now. So what I'll say
notes
is,
making strategy.
yes, I've heard your question. So for anthropology note making, one you can do is if you're forgetting कि आपने कहाँ से कोई चीज पढ़ी थी, so just keep a note of all the books that you're referring for a particular unit. तो ये मैंने भी किया था क्योंकि कभी कभी हमें वापस उस टॉपिक में जाके चेक करना पड़ता है, देखना पड़ता है कि have you written rightly or not. So you can just keep a list of all the books you are referring for a particular unit. And another thing is how to make notes from anthropology, different books. So what you can do is first try to minimize the books you are reading. अगर आप अच्छी बुक्स पढ़ रहे हैं तो 2 भी सफिशिएंट है. अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ेंगे तो बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाएगा. सपोज अगर आप सोशियो कल्चरल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी की बात करें तो उसमें एम्बर एंड वेट्स बुक्स आर मोर देन इनफ. एंड अगर आप थ्योरीज की बात करें तो उसमें अगेन जो यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कैलिफोर्निया की वेबसाइट है इट इज अ वेरी गुड सोर्स. Again, you can also refer to Gaya Pandey and Upadhyay for that. But what I'm trying to say is कि try to keep it limited and at least आप एक बार में 2 books से ज़्यादा मत रखिए उस time पे. And later on you can suppose if you come across a very good book or a very good chapter, then you can update that part. But try to keep it limited to 2 initially. And when you are making notes, and don't make notes in the first reading. Try to make it in the second or third reading. Because in the first reading, when you're reading anthropology, you will be understanding कि क्या बात हो रही है. And in second, you will try to get a gist of what the matter is. So third reading, you will be more capable of making a note. So when you're making notes on different books, first thing is you should try to pick a good definition. So definition में बहुत सारे anthropologists ने दे रखी होती है. So just pick one that you relate to most, that you feel is correct. Suppose family है या marriage है, तो उसमें बहुत सारे लोगों ने दे रखी है. मर्डॉक ने भी दे रखी है, कैथलीन गॉग ने भी दे रखी है. So just think कि कौन सी most holistic है and what you think is most correct as per your interpretation. Okay, and then you have picked one definition that is more than sufficient for the beginning. Then you have to pick 2 examples for each thing. So for example, आप marriage types की बात करें, so just pick 2 example, whatever you think is good. अगर आप पेपर 1 में है तो try to pick world examples, but at least note one Indian example also. For example, if the question asks कि Indian examples ही बताइए. Okay, and similarly, if you find that one book has good diagram or very good case study, then you can take that. And main points are
Hello.
Sorry, I was muted in between. Yeah, so I was saying that what do is कि अगर suppose 2 books हैं तो उनमें at least 3-4 points same होंगे, तो you should look for the different point. So for example, जो आप दूसरी book use कर रहे हैं उसमें 2 नए point हैं, so you should try to add all the 6 points in concise manner. So इस तरीके से आप अपने notes बनाइए कि वो word limit में भी रहें, और वो आप दूसरी बात है आप notes जो है question answer format में बनाएं. Because मैंने पहले बिना question answer format में बनाए थे आंसरों में, and I just have to like मुझे दोबारा बनाने पड़े पूरे because they were not very useful. Anthropology में बहुत सारे questions direct आते हैं, so you should try to make your notes in question answer format. Take the questions from syllabus or the previous year questions. Yeah.
हेलो.
सिलेबस कवर हो जाता है. तो मैम अभी मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कि हाउ टू लाइक अभी उसके मुझे नोट्स बनाओ या हाउ टू टैकल हाउ टू ग्रो इन दैट, लाइक क्या अच्छा वे होगा मैं उसको कवर कर सकूंगी.
So I'm not exactly understanding what have you covered. Like you have covered the basic book or the syllabus. I'm not able to understand.
मैम जो एक बुक होती है जिसमें पूरे क्वेश्चंस वाइज उसके आंसर्स देके पूरा सिलेबस कवर कर लेते हैं क्वेश्चन के फॉर्मेट में देखिए.
Any the toppers book like Vivek Bhashmi etc.
No, not the Akshat Jain's book, but the same in
Okay,
pattern.
okay. So what I say is कि don't rely on such books which are in the single manner. Like you can use those books which you're not able to find answer as a value addition or even as one of your main sources, but try to read at least the basic books. I'll always say that whatever you're relying on, be it any toppers notes or be it any like this question answer format book, just read the basic books also before you rely on them, because see, any note or any book cannot cover the entire thing that is in the book, right? So because everybody chooses what they will write in their answers, so just try to read the basic book so that you can also choose कि हाँ मैं अपने answers में ये डालना चाहती हूँ या ये डालना चाहती हूँ. So in this manner what you will be having a good understanding. So the suppose कि नया question आ जाता है, so you are not just relying on those questions. Another thing is you will be able to make your answers yours because these books are available for everybody. So the examiner will know if you're writing the standard answer or if your answer is unique, something that you have developed on your own. So that is why you should try to read at least the main books, and then you can use both of the books what you have read already and the main books. So and make a note by accumulating both of them.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I have referred to Vivek Bhasme, Anthropology Simplified.
Yes, that's what I asked. So the same advice applies to that.
Okay. So, ma'am, making notes is very important. So, to extract all the important content and then go through the revision of the notes जो अपन ने खुद से बनाए, that is very important.
Yes, making notes is important because anthropology is very vast. So अगर आप अपने notes बना के उनको revise कर, so you will be in like you will be able to answer much more effectively compared to if you're reading from one book, another book. But see, again, it is very personal because we all know that Anudip Shetty sir, he was not able to make notes for anthropology, but still he got very good marks. So, but the
Yes.
thing is, if you have time, you should try to make notes. That will help you in revision. Obviously, if you don't have time, then you have to revise from the book directly.
Okay. And ma'am, how much month from now we should devote for anthropology? Means how much month will require to cover the whole syllabus in detail?
Okay. So I think at least 4 months, I think, or 5 months are required for anthropology, 4 to 5 months.
Okay, ma'am. Then after that we have to cover for GS.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
You can move to the
Thank you
next.
so much, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please
Excuse me,
ask.
ma'am.
Nisha,
Yes,
go.
yes, please ask.
Ma'am, I was asking for your daily timetable. As I'm a beginner, I cannot understand how to start my preparation. So it would be really helpful if you share what was your timetable, how you started, which subject to cover first. So all that, ma'am.
Okay. So firstly, if you're just starting, I'll say that don't like keep a very strict schedule that I'll study 8 hours in the beginning itself. Okay, try to start slow and steady. So it's not like you have started, but then you skip for 2 days. Don't keep it like that also. But try to begin with at least 4 hours, and then you can gradually increase it. That's just an advice. And another thing is my schedule used to be like I used to keep minimum 8 hours. Some days it extended to 7, some days 9, but I'll say 8 is the average throughout the year. So in my initial attempts, I would rather say that I used to study at least 9 hours daily. But in my third attempt, I used to keep it for 8 hours because so as to avoid the burnout. So I'll say that 8 hours is also good. But when the prelims is nearing or when the mains are nearing, for those 3 months, I used to keep it daily 10 hours, which was even extendable to 12 or 13 hours, whatever is needed, because जब वो पेपर आ रहा है, then you should try to give your like 110% because जब पेपर हो जाएगा, then you can relax and you can take however breaks you want. So daily schedule में मेरा इस तरीके से रहता था that I used to wake up around 6, and in initial attempts my time was not very fixed, but in my third attempt I rectified it because I think कि जो हमारे basic exam होते हैं, they are in the beginning, like in the morning itself, so around 9 to 12 and 2 to 5. So उसके लिए आपका अगर माइंड सुबह से ही शार्प है, एक्टिव है, तो वो ज्यादा अच्छा है. So I refurbished my plan a little, and I used to wake up at 6 and I started my studies around 7. So for 7 to 8:30 I used to read 1.5 hours, and then again I took 1.5 hour break for physical exercises and breakfast, etc. So after that I used to study 10 to 2, and in that, suppose I'm covering GS or anthropology, so whatever thing I'm covering, I used to give it full focus. And after that, around 2 to 3 I used to take a break, and then again I used to study from 3 to 6, I'll say. And in that time I used to cover the current affairs, and if I'm reading the monthly magazine, I used to revise that. Okay, and after that again I took a break of 6 to 7, and after that I used to study from 7 to 9 around. So in that, again, that depends what you were studying. So for example, if I'm studying GS, I used to do answer writing in that point of time, and later I corrected it. I also started doing answer writing in the morning or the afternoon slot, because we need to have our greatest potential when the exam will be. And other than that, I used to keep 1 hour for value addition in my night time. And in that, what I used to do was, for example, if I'm reading newspaper और मुझे उसमें से कोई judgment या committee या fact कुछ भी अच्छा लगा, so I had taken a photo. So in that 1 hour, I used to add them in my notes which I've shared, and उसको फिर मैं revise भी करती थी, because I just can't keep on adding. I have to also revise that. Okay, but it also depends कि हम किस stage में है preparation के. So for example, if I'm in the answer writing stage of GS, then I will also revise the answers that I previously like marked for revision. So it depends on what stage you are, but I'll say that at least try to read 8 hours. And by hearing my schedule, you might be thinking that it is more than 8 hours. So actually, I used to sit for more than 8 hours, but I am talking about the strict time, like avoiding the water breaks, or if anybody comes to talk to you in between, or if you are eating something in between, or anything, any distractions when you're not reading actively, means your mind is somewhere else. So I didn't used to add those in my time. So I was very strict with time. And why I was strict with time, because अगर आप strict हैं अपने time के साथ, so you will come to know at the end of day कि क्या आपने अच्छे से पढ़ा, and जितना आपने घंटे पढ़ा क्या उसमें उतनी productivity निकली. So this was just a way to keep honesty with myself, and it was also a way to give me incentives, क्योंकि अगर हम अच्छे से पढ़ रहे हैं then we can keep certain breaks, जो चीजें हमें पसंद है हम वो कर सकते हैं. So this is how I used to make my daily timetable.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, two more topics. Ma'am, I am planning to take psychology as my optional. So any suggestions for that? I know you took anthropology, but still if you have any knowledge. And another one is CSAT, ma'am. I am really worried about it. So can you please give your inputs on that?
Okay, so for psychology, I won't be able to tell. I think you can see there are a lot of toppers for psychology. So I am not aware currently of any topper of psychology. Sorry for that. And you are asking about CSAT. So for CSAT, the first thing is that you should try to learn the maths formulas. You should practice the logical reasoning questions. I think I've said it a lot of times. They are more reliable compared to verbal section, because verbal में हमें जो लगता है कि आंसर है, I think वो काफी बार होता नहीं है. So you should try to rely more on that. And one thing you should do is that अगर आपने एक बार formulas पढ़ लिए हैं, then you should try to do the questions, like attempt the questions. So I have shared the formulas of the CSAT. There are around 30 pages with examples. You can refer to them also. And what you can do is that give the paper then. So for example, you can give this year's paper and the 2020's paper. So those two CSAT papers were tough. So give them and analyze what your marks are, because 2020 की answer की भी आ चुकी है. And so once you know where you're standing, so for example, if you're way above the cutoff, then you're already good enough. But if you are somewhere below or you're around the border, so what you can do is कि आप अपने जब prelims का time आने वाला है, so 3 months के around में आप अपना daily रात के time 2 घंटे या 1 घंटा रख सकते हैं CSAT के लिए. In that you can some days revise the paper and give certain questions, like 20 questions कर लिए. And every third day you can give a mock for CSAT, or every fifth day you can give a mock for CSAT. So don't sacrifice your GS mocks for CSAT, but don't ignore CSAT also. It's a very good thing. You are focusing on CSAT. And अगर आपको लगता है कि आपका CSAT improve हो गया है, then you can start giving that time to GS again. So make it as per your needs. If you think कि आप बहुत ज़्यादा lag कर रहे हैं CSAT में, then you can join a test series also. But main thing is you try to keep on practicing the math questions and the logical reasoning questions. तो आपका हो जाएगा. But I'm not saying to ignore the verbal completely. Some passages are very easy and direct, so you can attempt that also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Ma'am, my question is, ma'am, I'm totally beginner to anthropology. तो अभी मैंने टॉपर्स की वीडियोस वगैरह देखकर मैंने ब्रेन टी मटेरियल जो ज्यादातर टॉपर्स सजेस्ट करते हैं वो लिया है. तो एज आई एम टोटली बिगनर, मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं सब कुछ पढ़ रही हूँ, बट आई एम नॉट गेनिंग समथिंग. तो एनीथिंग विच यू वुड लाइक टू सजेस्ट, कोई बुक जिससे मैं स्टार्ट कर सकूं. ऑल्सो मैम मेरे पास साइंस बैकग्राउंड था, तो कोई पोर्शन जिससे मैं एंथ्रोपोलॉजी स्टार्ट कर सकूं.
Okay. So first thing is कि if you're thinking कि आपके दिमाग के ऊपर से जा रहा है, आप absorb नहीं कर पा रहे हो, then try to take it slow and whatever you're reading, first try to absorb that. For example, अगर आप marriage का chapter पढ़ रहे हैं, you should start with marriage chapter. I think that's the most easiest, and students find it interesting also. So you can begin with unit 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, marriage, family, kinship. Okay, after that you can go to religion unit, which is also interesting. So what you should do is, firstly, I'd say कि please add one more book to your brain tree material. I also refer to brain tree selectively, but I'll say that please add one more thing to it. For example, for socio-cultural part, you can add Ember and Ember, which is also again a very heavy book. You don't have to read it entirely. You can read it selectively as per their chapters, and you can read to N.K. Vats's book. So these are very good sources for a socio-cultural chapter. So try to understand what you're reading. For example, if you're starting with marriage, then first understand the definition of marriage. There are a lot of definitions, and there is also a question कि क्या हम marriage को एक definition से comprehensively explain कर सकते हैं. So try to understand it very slowly कि क्या definition different कह रही हैं. Then when you're focusing on marriage types, then understand कि अच्छा इस type का ये मतलब है, इस type का ये मतलब है. Then try to make a note out of it कि okay, this is the example, this is the diagram, and this is the definition. So firstly is try to go slow, and try to also read the basic books. Like for social culture, I have told you. Other than that, you can refer to various strategies. You can also refer to mine. And if you're reading the basic books, it will be very helpful, because Braintree is like a coaching material. So उसे बहुत अच्छे से explain नहीं हो पाता है. So that is the only way. If you keep on reading it, there is no ऐसा कोई doubt नहीं है मुझे कि आपको नहीं understand हो पाएगा. So just give it like some time, and try to go slow and focus on absorbing and active reading, then you will be able to understand. Initially सबको दिक्कत होती है, so it's okay.
ओके मैम. मैम कोई यूट्यूब चैनल जो आप सजेस्ट करना चाहें स्पेशली एंथ्रोपोलॉजी के लिए, जो अगर मेरे को कोई सी स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक में कोई प्रॉब्लम हुई तो आई कैन रेफर टू दैट.
See, I did not refer to YouTube for anthropology. मैं mainly books को ही refer करती थी. So if I didn't understand a particular topic, I used to leave it for the time being and again come back to it later. And another thing is I used to read another book for the same topic to understand it. So I didn't refer to YouTube for anthropology. So I'm sorry for that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Recently, I started answer writing. So while I write the answer, so I understand the demand of the question. I know how to structure the answer, but problem is that, ma'am, कि जो thoughts और points और जो content आना चाहिए ना answer में, वो आ नहीं रहा है. So why this happen, ma'am? Actually, मेरी कोई strategy miss हो रही है या कुछ understanding miss हो रहा है. Can you suggest me?
Okay, so see, अगर आपके points नहीं आ रहे हैं, it can be because of a number of reasons. First reason could be that आपने अच्छे से revise नहीं करा है. Initially नहीं आ पाते हैं points because they're not used to revising so quickly. So try to do this, that अगर आप answer writing कर भी रहे हैं, उसके अलावा भी you should just pick one question or any previous question and try to write its answer mentally. So when you're thinking mentally, try to form an answer. So उस टाइप से क्या होगा कि आपकी रिकॉलिंग पावर इंप्रूव होगी. सो वन थिंग कैन बी दैट यू आर नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल. सो फॉर दैट ट्राई टू रिवाइज, एंड व्हेन यू आर रिवाइजिंग फोकस ऑन कि अगर इस पे क्वेश्चन आता है देन व्हाट पॉइंट्स आई विल राइट. सो रिवाइज देम इन पॉइंट फॉर्मेट सो दैट यू आर एबल टू राइट क्विकली. एंड अगर आपके कंटेंट में कमी है, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर नॉट राइटिंग द फैक्ट्स और द जजमेंट्स और द आर्टिकल नंबर्स, देन ट्राई टू ऐड द वैल्यू एडिशन मटेरियल. और इफ यू आर नॉट राइटिंग मैप्स, एंड इनिशियली क्या होता है कि अगर हम फैक्ट लर्न भी कर लें और मैप लर्न भी कर लें, so there are so many that we will not be able to write instantly. So it's okay, just give it some time. Another thing is कि आप daily answer writing कर रहे हैं, so don't focus entirely on कि मुझे सिर्फ time में ही पूरा करना है. Okay, also focus on your content quality and your answer quality. So initially take 8 minutes instead of 7 minutes for a 10 marker and try to add those value addition points. I'm not saying take 10 minutes for 10 marker, I'm saying 8 minutes. And then gradually you will be able to add with revision and with a conscious effort to add those facts or map or whatever thing you have to add in your mind. मन में रख के चलिए कि मैं ऐड करूंगा ही करूंगा. And that is very important because अब एग्जाम में सडनली नहीं ऐड कर पाएंगे. If you have a habit of adding them right now, then only you will be able to add them in mocks, and then only you will be able to add them in the actual paper. So do this, and आपका 8 मिनट में जब भी आपको लगता है कि हाँ मैं थोड़ा कर पा रहा हूँ, then reduce your time to 7.5 minutes and then come to 7 minutes. So what I'm trying to say is कि जो आपकी daily answer writing है, उसमें first your focus should be on quality, but don't ignore the time entirely. And जब आप mocks दे रहे हैं full length, तब आप टाइम पे ज्यादा फोकस कीजिए, बिकॉज उसमें आपके टाइम का ट्रू टेस्ट होता है कि आपको लगातार इतने सारे क्वेश्चन सीखने हैं. बट डेली में आप कोशिश करिए कि आप क्वालिटी पे इक्वल फोकस करिए. सो फॉर दैट ट्राई टू डू मोर रिविजन, एंड इफ यू आर लैकिंग समवेयर इन पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू एडिशन एटसेट्रा, देन ट्राई टू ऐड दैट. एंड मेन थिंग इज कि आप जब अपने नोट्स बना रहे हैं, अगर आपने नोट्स नहीं बनाए हैं तो देन इन नोट्स इटसेल्फ यू कैन ऐड दोस मैप्स और द फैक्ट्स और द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल आर्टिकल्स देयर इटसेल्फ. तो जब आप रिवाइज करेंगे वो नेचुरली आपके अंदर इनबिल्ट हो जाएगा. सो व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग यू विल बी एबल टू एक्सप्रेस देम वेरी इजीली.
मैम फॉर मेंस करंट अफेयर्स कौन सा मटेरियल फॉलो किया मैम आपने?
Okay, so for mains current affair, there was no different thing. I only refer to those 12 months book which we have referred to the prelims. So newspaper के साथ newspaper I used to read, and for the Vision monthly magazines, and जो 3 months होते हैं हमारे prelims और mains के बीच में. So the last month you have to ignore, but after that उसके अलावा भी 3 monthly magazines आती हैं. So at that point of time, if you are not able to cover those 3 months monthly, then you can refer to the mains 365 for those months. But if you're reading monthly magazines of each of the months, then there is no need to cover mains 365. So मैंने यही अप्रोच रखी थी कि जो मेरे सब्जेक्ट मंथली से हो गए थे, for that I didn't refer to mains 365. And जो मेरे नहीं हो पाए थे कवर मंथली से, क्योंकि टाइम शॉर्टेज होती है प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के बीच में, for that I refer to the mains 365. Other than that, as I said previously, कि mains 365 को मैंने IR और इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी और साइंस एंड टेक, इसके लिए मैंने प्रीवियस ईयर यूज करी थी मेंस 365 बिकॉज ऑफ द बेसिक मटेरियल. बिकॉज सपोज अगर हम इंडिया चाइना रिलेशंस की बात करें तो 90% ऑफ द थिंग्स विल रिमेन सेम, और जो नया लेटेस्ट होता है वो हमारा मंथली से कवर हो जाता है. So you can refer to anything. You can refer to the monthlies or you can refer to the mains 365. Another thing I'd like to add is कि mains 365 जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा heavy होती है, पर धीरे-धीरे वो हर साल उसको और update करते जा रहे हैं. So there's this pressure on the student कि मैं ये कैसे cover करूँगा और क्या ये मुझे सारा cover करना ज़रूरी है. So for that I'll say कि अगर suppose आपका topic social justice है, if you're reading social justice and if you have covered the basic facts about health on your own, suppose आपने cover कर लिया है कि डॉक्टर पेशेंट रेशियो क्या है इंडिया में and what is the number of beds and कितना out of pocket expenditure होता है. So if you have covered your basic facts, then you don't need to worry कि मुझे main 65 से सारे facts उठाने हैं. Okay, so try to cover it in this manner.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, please speak.
Yes, Simran, go ahead.
Hello.
Can I speak? Hello.
Yeah, you are audible.
Ma'am, I gave 3 prelims and I failed 3 of them, ma'am, with very less margin. Like in my first attempt, there was margin of 2 marks, then with 6 marks, and this time I was expecting to clear, but again I failed. Ma'am, I have taken up the backup that I'll start doing job, but I'm not sure how to continue my journey and regain the same confidence because every time I was feeling with very less margin. Ma'am, I don't know how to restart it and gain that motivation that I can crack the stage. I can crack the mains in one go. What should be my approach?
Okay, so see, I understand it can be very difficult because I have been in your situation, not exactly, but yes. So I'll say कि इस stage पे main चीज यही होती है कि we keep that motivation in our mind and we don't lose hope because जब नहीं हो पाता है then most of people around you will think कि हाँ now you will give up, but you know those people that don't give up, those are the ones that will clear. And it's not a matter of attempts, honestly, because I have met a lot of people जिनका 6th attempt भी था. So do you think they are less happy? Obviously not, right? So it's just a matter of time. If you're like failing with 2 marks, I've also failed with 1 marks. Actually, it was less than 1. So it's very difficult, I understand, because we often expect कि हमारा हो जाएगा and नहीं हो पाता. But see, it's only a matter of time, honestly, and just keep on working. And I'll say that work with greater effort that, okay, I'll prepare for the entire mains and the entire optional and whatever there is in a very good manner so that if I am able to clear prelims the next time, then nobody can stop you. So have this approach. I think this is approach for everybody, but especially for you because it gets difficult, but try to believe in yourself even more right now, I will say. And see that it's only a matter of chance also because the prelims में अगर 1-2 number से रह जाता है, so just think that it's sometimes tough luck. But you can think like this that अच्छा when I was giving mains and interview, I just realized that जब मेरा prelims नहीं हुआ था, I was very sad and very much disappointed. But I was wondering that अगर मेरा mains में रुक जाए या interview में रुक जाए, then how much devastated I will be. So a lot of people face that also, right? So you should just think it like an opportunity that God has given you a chance that you can prepare for mains very nicely throughout the year so that nobody will stop you in the later stages and you will get the service you really want. So think it as a positive step. Other than that, I'll say that please keep some positive breaks in your between, like whatever things you like doing. And that will give you a very good confidence. That will make you feel that you are prepared and you can do it. Don't let this pressure, demotivate you or make you much more nervous than you actually are. So if you'll be very positive and calm despite the situation, it will give you very good results and all the best.
How can I prepare for mains? Like what should be my approach for next 6 months as I have to manage it with my job? So what should be the strategy that I can take the maximum out of the minimum time? Should I join some test series or what should be my approach?
Yeah, so you can join a test series. What you can do is you can start with, if you have prepared optional, then you can start with GS. If you have not prepared optional, and you can prepare optional first. And what for both of them, either of if you think that if 2 test series are too much at one time, then first you can begin with GS or optional test series, whatever you feel is better. And you can then you can do what you can do is, for example, if you're studying GS1, then you study world history, world history and post-independence history. And then you can give a test on that. Then you can read society and you can give a test on that. So in this way I used to do after my 2nd attempt. So I had a whole year test series in which there were various sectional tests for various chapters. So you can do that. It is a very good approach.
Are you connected with some peer groups during your preparation, or like is there a role of a peer? I feel like I've always prepared in silos.
Okay, so I have prepared on my own. I was not in touch with anybody else. And it's a totally personal decision. If you think that you will be able to perform better in a group, then you can do that. I personally felt that I needed my preparation journey as per my needs and as per my schedule. So I prepared on my own only.
Okay, ma'am. Last question. Should I start giving prelims test from January, February onward, or should I start giving from right now? As prelims, I'm lacking very much.
I think right now is too soon because it will not even give you the benefits that you need, in my opinion. But again, it's a very personal choice. But if you're asking from me, I think you can begin with January, February. It's a much better option because whatever you're gaining, you will be able to apply that in the exam.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Sure,
please.
Hello, ma'am.
Good
Ma'am, I
afternoon,
want
ma'am.
to ask.
Ma'am, actually, I have started my anthropology optional preparation last month, and I have covered the theories portion first. And I have made my notes in question answer format by reading basic books in the market, and by doing value addition. But ma'am, I tend to forget a lot of things from theories. Like there are different definitions of culture given by David Taylor and some other scholars. So how to deal with that?
Okay. So see, the first thing is that you don't need to add too much definitions in your answer. Sometimes I also did this mistake that I added too many definitions in my answer. So please restrict how many definitions or things you are adding. And if you think they are sufficient and they are required in the answer, then only thing is that you have to revise. See, theories is a very difficult chapter, and the initial theories are still recallable, but the later theories, cognitive anthropology and so on, they are actually very difficult to remember. So even in the last time, I think I had the need to revise the later theories. So it's entirely okay if you're forgetting right now. Just focus on revising them as many times as you can while studying ahead also. Like don't get stuck on one chapter so that you are not focusing on the rest of the syllabus. But you have covered theories right now. I think it's a very good thing, and because it's a very important chapter and it will have a lot of questions in the exam. And just keep on revising and limit yourself. That is the two things only you can do.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have also seen your notes. Your notes are also very detailed. So how you manage to write in exam by remembering all the things?
Okay, see, so you cannot remember the entire things. As I said, my notes were a little detailed, more than I could remember. So I'll say that I try to remember them 90%. Some things that used to, okay, in my mind, I used to say that I'll not read this part. And out of those 90%, I was able to recall that 90%, like 90 of 90. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever you are making note of, you cannot remember that 100% in the exam, and it is only natural. But if your notes are good, then even if you're able to recall 80 to 85%, that is also very good, because the teacher who is an anthropology teacher will know that are you making notes on your own, and are you making an effort, and are you putting the proper thinker's name, are you putting examples. So main thing is that try to learn and revise how much you can, okay, how much is possible. And if you are able to do 85%, I think it is very good. For me also, it was around 80 to 85% only in the exam, because as I said, I also faced COVID during that time, so I was not even able to revise properly. So anyway, my main point is कि if you're revising throughout the year, your background memory will develop, and even if you think you're forgetting, हमें लगता है कि हम भूल गए, but you will be able to write in the exam, because this has happened with me, and I also used to worry कि कैसे होएगा, and because it is too vast, but materials are unlimited. Then there is Ember and Ember also. So you don't need to refer to each and every book. But if you think that your material is lacking and your answer is not good enough, then you can add definitely. And about the website you were asking. So the website has the option of opening the theories. I can share the link on the channel if you want. And it basically you can choose the option which theory you want to open. For example, you want to open functionalism. So the entire functionalism theory opens. So you can read that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I actually referred EPG Pathshala resource for the theories as my basic resource, but I'll surely check out the University of California's website once. And one last thing, ma'am. Did you join the daily answer writing program at IAS Network? And if yes, then what was their response? I mean, is it good? Should I refer it or anywhere else?
Okay. So yes, I refer to IAS Network daily answer writing. So I used to do take previous year questions for writing, and I used to send them. So at that point of time, the response is very good. They used to send the evaluated answer copies in 2 days. So I don't know what the current method is. Some students are saying that they take delays, but I'll also add that this is the time when people are writing mails. So maybe because of that reason, because when the time between prelims and mains is there, so there is a rush, and even I faced a little delay during that point of time. But at that point of time, I was doing like in this time when there are only 2 months left, I was mainly writing mocks because the time is very less. So the mocks used to take more than 2 days during this time. But throughout the year, I'll say that after mains mainly, I had joined. So they used to give me answers very quickly in 2 months, in 2 days, sorry. So, and about the evaluation, I think it was good, I'd say, because most of the times I found my mistakes, but sometimes I was not satisfied also. I will not say ki I'll give them 100% marks, but I was 85 to 90% satisfied. So again, I don't know any other platform, so you can see, and they give that practice thing that you can try for 2-3 tries answers, and then you can join. So you can do that in different platforms, and then you can join whichever you feel is best.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I hope
Ma'am, how you manage two test series, ma'am? One
Can we have last
one Vision IS test series.
to answer so that we can conclude the session? Should we last 3-4-5 questions?
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, how did you manage two test series, ma'am? One at IS Network and one at Vision IS.
So IAS Network, I did not join for test series. IAS Network, I joined for daily answer writing. So when I
Like
used
monthly
to do
or yearly subscription, like monthly ones, or they have like monthly and say like biannual and then yearly also. So which one did you enroll?
So I joined, I joined after my second attempt at prelims. So I joined for the third attempt, till third attempt means. So there is this section of till third attempt, next attempt means is there. So I joined for the yearly section, and for vision also I joined the yearly test series, which is there again till means of the next year. And
So how did you manage that? Like, no, like is there any?
Yeah. So what I used to do was that I was whenever I was reading, for example, I'm reading Polity, then I used to do its daily answer writing. And as per whatever I've read, for example, if I've read president topic, then I used to search the previous year question of president, and then I used to write on them. Again, for example, if I'm doing history, then I used to write history questions. So for those answers, I used to send it to IAS Network. And when I was writing mocks, full length tests, for example, after I had covered history and art and culture, I used to write visions tests or sectional tests of that section. So I used to send it to both of them. So just to get an idea of what my answers really are, because sometimes vision takes more time than IAS Network. I'll not say it is always the case. Sometimes vision was even earlier than IAS Network, but both of their evaluations were quite good. And I just used to find some points, because every person who is checking will check in a different manner. And I thought that if I joined both of them, then I can send the copies to both of them. It's not a bad idea. But if you think that two are too much for you, then you can go for one also, whatever you feel is comfortable. For example, if you think that you want daily answer writing, so you can go for IAS Network, and they will also evaluate your test copies. But if you want that, okay, I want a vision test series also, like you want to purchase it, then you can go for that, or otherwise they're also available in the market, I think.
Okay, ma'am, my second question is regarding like current affairs for prelims. Like you used to read monthly magazines of Vision IS, right?
Yeah.
So ma'am, prelims के time में like 10-12 monthly magazines हो जाते हैं. So at the last moment, did you refer to PT 365 or you revised 10-12 monthly magazines? तो उस time पे आपने क्या किया था last moment?
I revised them only. I did not refer to PT 365 because, as I said, that I used to revise them through the year, because those books are very heavy, in my opinion. Those 100 pages are very heavy. So I used to revise them throughout my year. For example, abhi July ki magazine, June ki magazine aa gayi hai. So I will try that before those 3 months, I have read those June magazines at least 2 to 3 times. So jitna ho sakta hai utna main pehle revise karne ki koshish karti thi during my mains preparation. And when the prelims time used to come, I again divided my time, that I'll do at least 2 or 3 divisions of the current affairs magazine. So I divided the months in those days, like 90 days divided by 36 and so on. And I used to revise them only.
So no 365, no PT 365.
No.
Right, last 2 questions.
Ma'am.
Yes, Nisha.
Ma'am, Ma'am, I want to ask that I'm a complete beginner. So, ma'am, I need to read the NCRT, social science NCRT from 6th to 12th, all, or should I need to skip something?
I think you can skip some of them because I did not read the entire 6th to 12th NCRTs, and I only referred to NCRTs for geography, class 10, 11 and 12. And for art and culture, I referred to class 12 fine NCRT. For ancient and medieval history, I referred to the old NCRTs. Other than that, I referred to post-independence history NCRT. Other than that, I referred to societies NCRT for class 11th and 12th. So that's it. I did not refer to any other NCRT. But
And
I've
ma'am,
heard that political science NCRT is also good of class 12th, I think. So you can read that also.
and ma'am, for world history, what you refer the book?
So for world history, I refer to Munal sir's website. Munal sir has given the world history section wise, and it's very comprehensive. I think you should not read the world history NCRT because it is very, very heavy, and it is very difficult to understand. Also, that much detail is not required for GS mains. So you can refer to Munal sir's website, or you can refer to any other material. I am not. I am only aware of Munal sir's website. It is very comprehensive, and it's also given in point format sometimes. So I used to cover the material selectively out of that also. So I have also shared my world history notes. You can refer to them and take an understanding.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more question that I am starting now only. So, ma'am, I need to cover the current affair from starting, or should I need to, complete after some months?
Okay, so try to cover 12 months before the prelims examination, skipping the 1 month which is just before prelims. So आप at least रखिए कि आप 12 months का cover करें. तो जो आपके months छूट गए हैं, you can start covering them right now.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, one last, like I need to make a notes of current affairs, like daily current affairs note.
Okay, so I did not make the daily current affairs notes. I think it's very difficult to revise those notes. But if you think that that is the best way for you, then I will not stop you. But personally, if you're asking what I did, then I tried. But I think it's very tedious, and today magazines are very good and comprehensive. So I only relied on the magazines and I read newspaper daily. But what I used to do was I used to collect any good judgment or fact or map which is in the newspaper to add in my value addition notes. So for value addition, I picked something from newspaper, but other than that, I did not make any notes from there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question. I am doing the economy part from Mrunal's handouts, and since it is too bulky, so it is very difficult to revise from that. It is around more than 1,000 pages. So I want to know that how did you manage to revise from that notes?
Yeah. So see, the first thing is that when I started in my first attempt, at that time only Munal sir had started this course on Unacademy. So at that time the notes were around 500 pages only. So I had started revising from that point of time. And over the years he added the current affairs portion, and during the years yes, it increased to 1,000 pages. So the main thing is that the main portion that I had revised already during my 3 attempts. So I will say that out of those 1,000 pages, you should see that which portion is like the most important for the examination, like for prelims as well as for mains. So you will be able to see that some things are very, sir has added for the sake of it. And some things are just tidbits of current affairs, which might not be asked by UPSC in any case. But some things are very important, and like the insolvency and bankruptcy code or the budget portion or certain topic that has been suggested by economic survey. Okay, and again, there is the GDP growth portion. So you should try to figure out and you should try to revise that more. Other thing is that I agree that the notes are very bulky. So you should try to give sufficient time, keep certain length of time for economics. But I think there is an advantage also because the SIR's notes are so bulky. So you don't need to read any other magazine for schemes. Okay, and a lot of things are covered by those notes. So for example, I did not refer to any schemes magazine which Vision publishes because SIR has already covered that. So take it as an advantage and see what you are all are learning, because again, I did not refer to the economics portion of the Vision Monthly also because SIR is updating it with current affairs. So try to take it in an advantageous way and try to give it sufficient time. Don't take it as a burden, I'll say, because it has good cost benefit. In prelims also, at least 25 questions are asked from that notes only. So I think it is a very good investment, even though time is taken and it is time taking. And keep certain times if you think that you are forgetting, because again entire thing last day tak nahi recall ho pati hai, but give it sufficient time for revision again and again, taki at least you are able to get a hold of 80% of the notes.
Ma'am, have you referred to any lectures or YouTube videos for ancient and article culture, or just relied on the books?
Yes, I refer to only the books. I think I use YouTube mainly for understanding various topper strategies. So I did not refer it for a particular material.
भाई जब भागोगे ना ऐसे दबा के और ऐसी डायरेक्शन में भागोगे जहां कोई नहीं भाग रहा और तुम जैसा भाग नहीं पा रहा क्योंकि देख के डर रहे हैं कि यार ऐसा भागूंगा तो गिर जाऊंगा, स्टेबिलिटी नहीं मिल रही, तब ऐसी सक्सेस मिलेगी जितना वो लोग पूरे लाइफ में नहीं। आपको पता चलेगा आप 3 साल में